Hey, this is Steve Jewin from MMA Mania. How are you doing today?
Good, how you?
Good. This is actually the second time we talked. The first time was just over a week after you got the big knockout win over Thiago Silva. So, how are you feeling now with a few months gone by to soak that in?
It feels pretty good, man. It finally went back to normal, I guess.
Well, it sounds like it's not normal. It sounds like your phone's blowing up over there.
Yeah, I got alarms set and everything else, man. It tells me when to eat and everything else.
Well, that might just have been, hey, Steve Jewin calling you at noon. Again,
Yeah.
thank you for the time. And now the fight that you've been waiting for so long is just a few weeks away. So you're finally getting to fight for that light heavyweight title, the inaugural champion. So how are you feeling right now?
I feel good, man. I'm just doing some, last minute stuff to fine tune everything for the last couple of weeks, and then gonna head out to Phoenix again.
Yeah, it's deja vu. You're going to be fighting in the same venue. Might even be the same people watching. So it's got to be
Yeah, you never know.
indeed. And it's been shuffled around so many times now. You know, you were shuffled into the tournament, and people have been shuffled in and out of the tournament. I don't know if you ever expected you would be facing David Branch for the title.
No, I really didn't, but that's the way the chips fall, so it is what it is now, I guess.
Is it a little bit different, though, knowing that he's already a champion in a different weight class as opposed to a guy who was coming in not a champion?
I mean, I don't guess so. All these guys are, originally supposed to be in the tournament are great fighters anyway. So, I guess it's a little bit different because he's a champion already, but all these guys are so good, it didn't really matter too much anyways. I highly doubt it's going to go 5 rounds in any of these fights. So that could have been, the tournament. So I don't think it makes too much of a difference.
And according to David Branch, he doesn't think it makes a difference either. I talked to him a couple months ago, and his exact words at the time were, I want people to know whoever I get in there with, goddamn, that guy didn't stand a chance. So, bold words from your challenger coming up on the 18th.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it is a fight, though, so whoever wins. But, I don't ever like going to the judges, so I think, if it's a fight, you need to win decisively. So, yeah, it is what it is.
Well, he seems to believe in that. You seem to believe in that. So maybe he should go back and watch that fight with Silva and realize that you do stand more than a chance because people didn't rate you that before Silva. You showed him.
I like being the underdog, though, so, I'm used to it. So I like surprising people coming out and just, they're not really prepared for what I have to give them.
Now, since it's been almost 6 months since the last time we saw you, what's going to be the biggest difference when we see you in this fight?
Well, considering it was a 19-month layoff in my last fight, I was a little rusty. So, I'll probably look totally different as far as, my form and everything else. So, not too much, though. I like to knock people out. So, should expect the same thing from me. Stand up, try to keep it standing. So, I don't know what he's going to do. More than likely try to take me to the ground, but I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see how he goes.
Yeah, well, he does like taking people to the ground. You're not wrong about that. He likes that, but he likes to bang too. So it's unpredictable how it'll go.
Yeah. Well, the fight starts standing, and then somebody wants to take it to the ground, so they don't like where they're at. So, I don't really try to take it to the ground too much, but I know he does.
Do you think almost it's been too long now that it would have been better if you'd had the fight in June or July? You feel like it's almost too much of a wait at this point?
No, I think it's all right considering, I hadn't fought 19 months for my last fight and, just getting ready for this one. So I think it's the time frame isn't that bad. Obviously, you probably want to fight every 3 or 4 months, be ideal, but 6 months isn't that bad. It just gives you a little bit more time to get ready and prepared.
Have you thought anything about, like a video package or, a tweet or something to get the juices going, somebody rile it up a little bit more and get people excited about this fight?
I don't know promotions like that kind of stuff, and I'm just not really much of a shit talker. I really don't like doing that. It's not me. I have my, people try to tell me to do it all the time, friends, and like my manager and stuff like that. And I just can't do it. I just don't like it. I don't respect it. What's the point in talking shit? You're going to fight anyway. So, it is what it is.
Well, yeah, I know what you mean. It sometimes gets a little ridiculous for me when I'm expected to say something about 2 guys beefing with each other on Twitter. It's like, you know what? Just let them fight. I don't even care what they say on social media. Just let them get in the cage and take care of it there.
Yeah, it's just I guess it's just the extra stuff they want, try to draw attention to it. But I don't know. Sometimes it seems too damn staged.
let's say things go according to plan, you knock out David Branch. Who would you want to have your first title defense against?
I don't know. We had a lot of fighters in the 205 division that hadn't fought yet. Obviously, you got Vinny, I can't even pronounce his last name.
Magalhães, yeah.
Yeah, him. Obviously, you got Thiago Silva again. If he fights someone again, you got Mike Howard, you got Tyrone Spong. So I mean, it's a pretty stacked division right now. It's up for anybody, I guess. Whoever gets a nice one to win, and just whoever wants to defend against that. I actually thought about if I did win to go to 85 and see if I could fight David Branch for his title, but I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
So you got the same plan as David then. He said he wants to be a two-weight class champion. It sounds like you could do the same thing back to him.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind trying it if I could test weight and see if I could get to 85. But I've never fought at 85, never cut to 85, so I don't know how it would go.
Yeah, you want to be careful with that because we've seen guys that are light heavyweight and up trying to get down to middleweight or welterweight and having some trouble with it, like Rumble Johnson. That was a big sticking point for him.
Yeah, he can come back and bite your ass.
Yeah, and it seems to be a big subject this morning. I just saw an editorial on Bleacher Report about the dangers of weight cutting and how the NSAC wants to really clamp down on it. And obviously, that doesn't affect the fight in Arizona, but at the same time, it seems like a lot of people are really focusing on that issue right now of guys having kidney problems and kidney stones and kidney failure because of too much weight cutting.
Yeah, I guess, they blocked, banned IV usage and everything else. I think Arizona just banned, smart water, if I'm not mistaken, because it has electrolytes and minerals in it too. So, I mean, they're cracking down on everything. So, I guess they're going to get more weight classes and everything else now. But, yeah, they ain't taking anything too lightly at this moment.
But do you think it affects you personally as a fighter? I mean, like you said, you fight at light heavyweight, you seem comfortable at that weight. So it's not like obviously a huge cut for you, but at the same time, do you see these issues affecting you down the road?
Not really. I've got to where I keep my weight a little bit lower than I used to. I used to cut like 240 to 205. I don't do it anymore. So the cut isn't as bad and it doesn't drain me as bad. But, a couple of years ago, I actually, when I cut from 240, it kind of sucked. Especially the next day, I felt like crap. My legs didn't feel like they were there. But yeah, I can definitely understand, cutting a lot of weight. It's definitely not fun.
The thing that I saw in the Bleacher Report article that they really seemed to be keying on was the danger of a guy being severely dehydrated going into the fight and then getting a concussion on top of that being a life-impairing injury. So, I mean, obviously, again, that's something you've considered because you're in combat sports and anything can be a life-impairing injury, but they seem to think that dehydration plus a knockout would make it that much worse.
Yeah, I guess so, but I mean, IVs is what they're for. It can get you rehydrated. So if you are dehydrated, you got 24 hours to rehydrate. So I don't see how anybody could be dehydrated and go into a fight dehydrated. You got plenty of time to, rehydrate your body. So especially if you have IV, you could use one.
I don't have the exact statistic in front of me, but they said something like 39% of all fighters go into a fight dehydrated. That seemed like an extraordinarily large number.
Yeah, I mean, I want to know how much percent dehydrated at the top of that. And if they want to be that way, if they use net factor, I bet like 90% of Americans dehydrated right now.
Yeah, especially if you're out there working in the summer heat. You got a construction job, you're probably dehydrated right now.
Yeah. I think they're being a little extreme out there. I mean, you're a professional. You're not going to go in there and dehydrated. I mean, if you're like 1% dehydrated, I think, or maybe like 3%, your like strength is down, exponentially compared to that. So that's just not smart. So, I mean, I don't believe those statistics.
It may be exaggerated, but who knows where they drew that data from. I don't have those numbers in front of me that they culled it from, so I can't tell you how they arrived at those conclusions. But we won't arrive at those conclusions. We'll focus on this fight with David Branch. I want to know what you think is the one thing you can do to absolutely just overwhelm David Branch. What's going to be the key? Is it going to be coming out fast? Or are you going to try to gas him out? What do you think is going to be the key?
Well, I got a couple ideas. I just don't really know it now. Whatever fight, I come out different. So I'm sure a lot of fighters do. I don't know what he's going to do. If he's going to try to be aggressive, or he's going to step on the outside and try to shoot angles and counter. So, I just have to wait till I get that there and fight, and just go from there. Just adapt on the fly, I guess. We got a couple of things we want to work and we want to try, but for different situations, but, you know, you just can't ever, you know what he's going to do. So I guess we have to wait and see.
One thing we do know about David Branch is that he's a guy that doesn't mind going the later rounds. He went all the way to the 4th round with Yushin Okami, so I imagine you probably have put some effort into cardio and making sure that if he wants to take it a long distance, you'll be right there with him.
Oh yeah, you know, I'm focusing on a lot of stuff, but, you know, cardio is pretty much my main thing right now. I'm just fine tuning everything else. You know, like, the last couple of weeks you can't really learn too much, so I'm just fine tuning all my stand up and everything else, getting crisp, and mainly working on cardio, doing it 2-3 times a day. So yeah, I'm expecting this. You want to go to deep waters. That's what I'm expecting.
And both of you have had some surprising finishes. I mean, we've mentioned yours with Silva in the opening round of the light heavyweight tournament, and then his replacement opponent, Jesse McElligott, got caught in a Von Flue choke. So expect the unexpected in fighting as always, but that's something you almost never see. I mean, you can't even really train to defend that because nobody ever gets that, and he did.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I've got it in practice and stuff, you know, just let go. All you gotta do is let go of the head, you know, especially when he gets inside control. But a lot of, you know, guys that don't know jiu-jitsu too well just keep holding on, especially to get a black belt like a Branch is going to finish it. So yeah, it was kind of surprising. You don't see Von Flue choke too much in MMA, but a lot of people, you know, that do MMA are smart enough to let go of the head right then because it ain't going to do any good. Obviously, what was his name? Jason? Was that his name? Jason or
Jesse McElligott, yeah.
Yeah, Jesse, he obviously didn't know that and just held on and, you know, got choked out.
Well, yeah, so what you're saying here is that ain't going to happen to you because if he tries to put that on you, you're not going to fall for that.
Yeah, I'm not, you know, I don't want to, you know, try to sound hateful or nothing. I'm Jesse McElligott said he's not on my level, a fighter that I am. I'm no better than that. So he's not going to have a, you know, just easy way out like that with me.
Well, speaking of being on your level, that's one of the things that, looking over your record again, I was thinking about it before I called you, and you've been fighting since 2008, but to a lot of people, you just kind of appeared out of nowhere this year when you got that win over Silva. So do you think people underestimate how long you've been around and how much you know?
More than likely. You guys most definitely, obviously, because I think, before that Silva fight, out of my non-professional fights, my average ring time was like 1:42. So, I mean, 42 seconds. So I don't fight a lot. All my fights have, ended in the first round, amateur and pro. I just don't bullshit. I like to fight. I get in there and I fight. I don't see, what's the chance of, you know, dancing around for 3 minutes in the first round and finally throwing each other out. You know, eventually you're going to get hit, so might as well go ahead and get it in. But yeah, I think I maybe used to think, you know, I'm probably underrated, which is fine with me. A lot of people hasn't seen what I can do, and I know I have a lot more tricks in the bag than I use, but, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right. And so really, it's kind of a gift and a curse. Like, the gift is you finish people fast, and the curse is that people don't get to see enough of you to get to know you better.
Well, I mean, yeah, that too, but also, you know, in film and everything else, you can't see what I do a lot of. So, you know, you can't really get a lot of film on the game plan, I guess, too much. And by the time you do watch the film, like the last one, I was totally a different fighter in my last fight than I was the fight before that. So I look crappy, honestly, in that Seattle fight. But, you know, that's what 19 months of ring rust did to you, I guess. But yeah, you can't study me too much. So that's always a good thing.
So I guess the bottom line for David Branch is he can't even begin to formulate how to deal with you because there's just no opportunity. He can't watch anything. He doesn't even know what you're going to be like if he does. Yeah. I haven't been on the ground too much. I think Stein Stansman took me to the ground twice actually, and I got back up and swept him, put him in the mount and finished him. And, Chris Davis, Bellator, you know, light heavyweight tournament contestant, he got me on the ground and I turned around, and I slammed him in a triangle. So, I mean, yeah, it's not too much of a ground film on me. Well, who knows? Maybe this will be the fight to change that. Maybe it'll go a long time. Maybe it won't. Maybe you'll just get in there and Thiago Silva him. It's almost become a verb now that you go in there and Thiago Silva somebody because you made a statement with that fight.
Yeah, I guess so. I saw some crazy ass memes on Facebook after that. It's pretty funny.
Well, that's got to be cool knowing that you became a sensation and a meme on the internet. You know, probably posts on the Underground and MMA Mania and everywhere else, people talking about that amazing finish. So let's see if it can happen again coming up in just a couple of weeks at the American Theater in Phoenix, Arizona. So anything else you want to say before we wrap it up today, Teddy?
No, man, I just want to thank you for the opportunity. Are you going to make the fight, actually?
I'd like to, but I don't know if my travel schedule is going to let me get out there that weekend because there are 2 fights that weekend. I got to cover both Bellator and World Series fighting in the same weekend.
There's the UFC has a fight that weekend too, doesn't it?
I think they do, but I don't have to cover that one, so I only have to do 2 out of the 3.
No, man, I appreciate that. Thanks for having the time, having me on.
Oh, it's our pleasure, Teddy. I always enjoy talking to you. And hey, let's get out that social media plug one more time so more people can follow you.
You can follow me at Facebook at Teddy Holder. I have a fan page also, so if you can't find me, it's your own fault because I'm like only 3 people in the world named Teddy Holder. And at Twitter at Teddy_Holder, and that's it.
All right. Well, Teddy, thanks again, and we're looking forward to the finals of the light heavyweight tournament at the American Theater in Phoenix, Arizona. It's going to be a spectacular fight at World Series of Fighting 23. Thanks again for a chat.
No problem. Thank you.